Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
In 2001, Zimbabwe's Sawira Mukuru was born. Humble beginnings though they were, and armed with nothing but a vision, Philip Mataranyika, Nyaradzo Group CEO, saw a need in Zimbabwe society. A need that needed a strong hand to fulfill it. A vision to provide the best possible service to its clientele in order to meet the demand for efficient, client-based funeral services in Zimbabwe. Investing in infrastructure, machinery, vehicles, staff training. Armed with the CEO's vision and mission to be the preferred provider of insurance risk and event management solutions. Through listening to and understanding the needs of our stakeholders with due care for the environment, we grew and grew. We crossed the Limpopo into South Africa. Over the Mediterranean and British Tunnel. And we continued to grow. Through the good times and the bad. Whether in the city or in the village, or diaspora. All we had and all we have is each other. 20 years of service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
20 years of gratefulness.
Thank you.
20 years of thanksgiving.
Thank you.
20 years of memories.
Thank you.
20 years of hope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope for an even greater future.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Nyaradzo Group of Companies would like to thank all our clients for working side by side with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
From all of us here at Nyaradzo, the past 20 years wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you.
Today is a special day for the Nyaradzo Group as we celebrate 20 years since our founding with humility and gratitude. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all stakeholders, our board of directors, management and staff, as well as our customers who have supported us through this journey. It's been an exciting journey, and I'd like to thank you all for all the support and the hard work.
Hello, Zimbabwe football fans. Welcome to another exciting show. In Touch with a Legend, powered by Nyaradzo Group. This is your favorite show where we bring you a Zimbabwean footballing legend to come and share with us their football journey. You know. This is why we do it. This is how we do it. Today in the studio, we have got a big legend. They don't come bigger than this legend we've got for you in the studio. None other than Gibson Homela. We call him Ndara Holmes. He is here, yes, to tell us about his journey that started to well before independence. We want to know everything about it. Ndara Holmes, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It has always been our desire to have you here to tell us about football, because you have been there in the early 70s, you come into the 80s, you were still there in the 90s, you are still there in the 21st century. Yes. That is such a history that we want to know. We want to hear everything about it. But as a footballer, we want to hear, how did you start playing football? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? How did you start playing football?
Yes, good afternoon. Born in 1946. In Lower Guero, born in 1946, and when you come up, find out the number of years I have now is 75 years.
You have taken very good care of yourself.
Thank you very much.
You look like you can still go out and play.
Yes, now I wish I could. I wish I could play, and really I would say my background in terms of football starts off in the early years when I was, I think, at Fletcher High School. I think this is where I would start off. When we were at Fletcher.
Fletcher is a high school?
It's a high school,
so,
yes.
So primary school, it was just...
it was, I think, bush football.
Oh, okay.
Mombe football, Tunokawabora, Musango, and where you have got my bouncers and Boracho Arite Mushe. But anyway,
it was just
we survived in that environment. We played football in the bush, in the Boracho Ariperi Kanawakuru Nakuin. And so we had to, I remember once upon a time when we were confronted by this, where we had these big guys losing, we couldn't stop playing. It's 6 o'clock, and me and my brother, I'm saying to him, you know what I'm going to do? Can I borrow again? Straight and just so, and that is how we ended up that game. But I think that was the misery of coupled with this football that we played. We had this bouncer, and they would monitor the whole thing. In other words, control everything, manipulate, keep on playing. Yeah. But so far so good about this push football. Primary school, yes, it was. I remember I played football at primary school, and I still have this story to relate in terms of my life in primary schools. We were playing football. And somehow my father happened to be on the other team. My father, he was defending on the other team.
Your father?
My father, yes, he happened to be there playing as well.
But when you were still in primary school?
Yes, when I was still in primary school. By then I think I could have been 12.
Yeah.
Very young. And I got this ball. My father, I drove towards him. He tried to mark me. I put the ball in between his legs, and people laughed. He didn't take that one lightly. He was so offended by that. And when he came aggressively, I just turned the other side, and he went through, and I remained with the ball. And people screamed. Ah! My father didn't like that. And but anyway, him being my father, he didn't show me that he was not too happy about what was happening. Yeah. So when we got home, he says, my one, mutaure chimwana chenyu ichi kuti ndichachivhuna ndichachikava zvese nebhora. And my mother said, but what happened? Says he made a fool out of me. I tried to He mark him, he put the ball in between my legs, and I turned, he put the other way around, and the whole crowd screamed and laughed at me. And I still remember that one. But I think I was very skillful then.
That's when you realized you were actually a very good player.
Yes, correct. And then my primary education was somewhere near Rishavani, in a primary school known as Msipani. He was there until by then the apex was standard 6. And after standard 6, we then go on to secondary education. Yes. And in my standard 6, I did well, I remember, because for you to get a vacancy at Fletcher High School, I think you had to be in first class or something like that. Yes, yes. So went to Fletcher High School, and when I got to Fletcher High School, I was lucky to meet my friends like William Sibanda, Edgar Chiesa, not Tendai, Edgar Chiesa, and Alec Manza. This combination is the combination that champions the success in Zimbabwe Saints, as I say. Anyway, this is how it came about.
Yes, yes.
And as we were playing football at Fletcher, I didn't realize, I didn't know we had people that were tracking us, following our footballing career at Fletcher High School. We had a very strong team at Fletcher High School. And fortunately, we also had, we were lucky to have a principal by the name of Norton Belt. He loved football.
Yeah.
And so we were, yes, exactly. And I remember once upon a time we had a trip with him using his car, but his car was a Trojan. It was like a minibus.
Oh, okay.
It was not a school bus. It was his car, and he chose to drive it himself. And he says we are on a trip to conquer Rhodesia by then. It was still Rhodesia then. And but these other guys, that I made mention of, were very good footballers. If I may remind you, William Siband, I'm sure I still remember him. Yes. Alec Manza was also a good striker. Edgar Chiesa was a very good linkman.
He was brother.
He was brother to Tendai. Yes, he was the brother to
Chiesa.
Yes, they were actually. There was Edgar, Tendai, Itai, George, and there is a 5. There is the 5th one. And whilst we schooled at Fletcher, like I said, we played our football, but somehow is halfway through the year, I think by then I think I must have been in Form 4, Form 3. Who calls at the school is Dr. Oshokunze. Dr. Oshokunze actually came to Fletcher. And he has a meeting with the principal. And in this meeting, after the meeting, we were actually called. Myself, Alec Manza, Edgar, and William were called to the principal's office. And we were briefed. We were told that the presence of Dr. Oshokunze's signals I think a step in our footballing career where the purpose of his visit was simply to talk to the principal, request for our joining, in other words, request that we join, his team. And I think, to cut a long story short, within that agreement, an agreement was made between the principal and Dr. Oshokunze that every weekend someone would drive from Bulawayo to Guero, pick us up, so that we come and join the team in Bulawayo.
Which team was this?
It was Mashonaland Football Club then. Mashonaland Football Club.
Mashonaland Football Club.
Yes.
So Dr. Oshogunze was the owner of the club.
He was the owner of the club. He was, let me say, he was part of Mashonaland Football Club.
Oh, okay.
And why I say so, ndio mambirombiro emanza. Mashonaland Football Club, he belonged to the Badara. They called themselves Badara. The Mashonaland, Wakatanga Mashonaland Football Club.
Okay,
but
yes.
Dr. Oshogunze joins them as a novice, as a new person, and I think as a financer.
With the energy you run around.
Right, yes. And so that is us. We find we have to, every weekend we come to Bulawayo, we play, we go back.
It was in which league?
By then, what was that, the name of the league? Let me call it an African league. Why I say so is because there was an African league and a white league.
White people's league.
White people's league.
Yes.
Where they were,
on their own.
yes, yes, exactly. The whites played on their own, and the blacks played on their own. And Tati Gare, within that setup, there comes the new name for us now. We change from Mashonaland Football Club to Mashonaland United. Mashonaland United, yeah. I'm sure you are aware of Mashonaland United.
Mashonaland United, yeah.
And as Mashonaland United, we now join what used to be known as the White League.
Okay.
And
it was combined.
It was now combined. And Madara AFC, they didn't want to join, they didn't want to move
to this
other league. And so we then, in other words, the team split into two. And we moved into the, call it, what do they call it? Non-professional, something like that. Non-professional league, where I think it was almost half white teams, yeah, and also half black teams.
Okay, I think Goya is on the National Rotation Soccer League or something like that.
We are after.
Okay.
Yes. It's like, how would I put it? In other words, the southern region, and the southern region had its own league.
Its own league. Oh yes.
Yes, okay. And within that concept, you have, I think we had 4 or 5 teams in that. They were
okay.
4 or 5 teams.
Kunok side.
And I think Harare there as well. Yes. I think that was the beginning of a new setup, I must say. Tatamba Mayamo is Mashonaland United. I think we played very well, continued to play, and as we did that, yes, there were successes and failures here and there, but I realized that within that setup, where there were white teams and African teams, there were white teams that had very good players, I must confess. Very good players. And as a result, our league by then, I think, was very entertaining. I think it was very entertaining. And then come independence. At independence, I'm still at Fletcher. No, I think I've left. Fletcher, I left 1966 after Form 6. So, in other words, yes, I left Fletcher, joined Edgar's, started working for Edgar's. In Bula? No. I actually joined, when I joined Edgar's, I started working in Harare. This is where the head office was.
So were you playing football in Harare now?
Believe you me, I never wanted to play for teams in Harare. I was scared of this new ground scared of whether I would be able to make an impact in the Harare team. But lucky me, no one approached me, despite the fact that I was there for 4 years. But within those 4 years, I still played for. This time, after independence, we now changed to Zimbabwe Saints. Right. Harare, I am playing for no one. And like I said, lucky me, I never had anyone that approached me. So within those 4 years, I kept on coming to Bulawayo to play for Mashonaland United. Yes. Pama weekends, yes.
Oh, okay.
And I would say the other stage, it was, I remember traveling with players like Stephen Kwashi when he was working for InSport in Harare. But we came together to play for Zimbabwe Saints. Lucky Rufani was also the other one that joined the Mashonaland United then. And Tony Machado is also the other one. So every weekend, yes, every weekend I drove with those 3 guys to Bulawayo to play football.
Without training?
Right. It looks like without training, but I think we were the ones that worked the hardest. I was in charge of the training in Harare. And T4. And this is what we did for our training. Taenda pachikomo pa Pakopi. Yes, and we had our run. Down, up that hill, down the hill, up that hill, down the hill. And I think we even overtrained, I believe, because coming to Bulawayo and joining Zimbabwe Saints, I think we were the best. We were the best, considering our physical fitness, technical fitness, tactical fitness. I think we were the better players of even the in comparison. We trained very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
And so, as in that movement, in that Lukuza, we are moving from Bulawayo, from Harare to Bulawayo. We are now at independence. At independence, we are requested, when I say we are, is Mashonaland United, we are requested by politicians to change our names. We are requested. With whom? With this Iva the Islanders, with the Matebele Islanders.
Hold on a minute. We just want to go for a break just now. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we want to start from there. So we've come all the way from Guero, from Fletcher to Mashonaland FC, then Mashonaland United, Edgar's. Now we are in the new era, 1980. And you are requested. With Mashonaland United, with Matebele Islanders.
Correct.
So we want to hear more about it. How did that come about and what happened? How did you go about it as well? Guys, we're just going to go for a break. We've got Gibson Homela, Toby, Dara Holmes. He is here telling us about his history from 1946. He is still up and running. He is still looking like a footballer. Guys, this man has looked after himself very well. Don't go away. Powered by Nyarazo Group. We are back in a minute. Don't go.
Nyaradzo Life Assurance Company, through one of its products, the Scorepec Plan, supports Highlanders Football Club, one of the biggest soccer teams in the country, and other local football clubs. With the Scorepec Plan, not only will you score for you and your family, but for your favorite local PSL soccer team as well. For each premium payment you make, your nominated soccer club will get paid from the Nyaradzo Life Assurance's Scorepec Plan.
Make sure you get a score pack. Support Highlanders, Ipos or Ipos.
When you get Scorepack, you're supporting Highlanders as a family and your own family. Every time you subscribe to Scorepack, you're supporting your family and Highlanders family. Get Scorepack today.
Always support Highlanders Football Club. Iposo, Iposo.
Supporting your team has never been this rewarding. Get a Scorepack policy and support your favorite football team today.
As Nyaradzo, we strive to continuously bring convenience to our clients. Nyaradzo Group is proud to introduce Sawi, a new virtual chatbot assistant on WhatsApp. With Sawi, you are now able to interact with us from the comfort of your home and can be assisted anytime via WhatsApp. With life assurance products, diaspora products, applying and assessing your policy, payment platforms, claims information, and any other queries concerning payments, policy information, or products and services. Simply WhatsApp Sawi on +263 712 992892 or visit the link showing on the screen to register and start interacting and receiving notifications from Sawi on WhatsApp. Now, join in and experience a new level of convenience 24 hours a day with Sawi.
Yes, guys, welcome back. This is In Touch with the Legend. We have got Gibson Homela in the studio. Mashonaland United, Matebele Highlanders. So guys. Why was that?
I think that was defined as tribal. The two names were said to be tribalistic, and therefore the politicians were really trying to discourage the tribal thinking, and hence they instructed the officials of the teams then that we had to change our names to whatever name. And the name that came into being for Mashonaland United was Zimbabwe Saints.
Who came with it? Who came up with that?
Dr. Oshoguns.
Oh, he decided that now we are into Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So we are Zimbabwe.
Yes, and bearing in mind, he was a politician, he was Minister of Health then, after independence, you remember?
Yes. He was the first minister.
Yes. So the name that he gave us, the name that he chose was Zimbabwe Saints. Highlanders, Matebele Highlanders, they decided to scratch off Matebele into Highlanders.
But how was the rivalry? Let's say the Mashonaland United, the Matebele United, that rivalry before independence, about that, was it really tribal though?
I must say it was very good for football.
The tribal
I don't even want to put it as tribal, but whatever the rivalry that was there between Zimbabwe Saints and Highlanders,
it was good for
it was good for
just like Real Madrid and
correct, yes.
When they don't know Barcelona, they are good with it.
Yes.
It's not tribal at all.
Correct. We as players were very comfortable with it, because why I say as players, after the game, we mixed. We drank. Those that drank, they went out drinking with the Highlanders players. Maybe it was only bad to the supporters, maybe, but as far as I'm concerned, for football purposes, I bemoan.
You didn't see anything wrong?
No, I didn't see anything.
It was actually a very good vibe.
Correct.
The guys from Manika playing against the guys from it's just football. Matebeleland versus Manikaland. Mashonaland versus I agree.
The tribal concept, I must say, as far as Highlanders is concerned, never existed, because once upon a time with the Mafaros playing for Highlanders, Nana Nyika, Stanley Nyika, Itai Cheza also played for Islanders. Bana Piri, Lawrence Piri, and etc. I don't even see the concept iri tribal as far as I'm concerned. You know, it was a multi-racial mix, if you want to call it, multi-tribal mix, if you want to call it, and that never really pronounced the tribalistic impression that other people could have had.
Yeah, I think basically it was exaggerated, but probably there was something that they wanted to neutralize. But so it happened anyway. So you move ahead, it happened. Then there was Zimbabwe Saints, there was Highlanders, but the rivalry still continued.
Yes, it still continued, and for people like Gibson, I think I found pride in belonging to Zimbabwe Saints, and each time we beat the Islanders, I was very happy.
How was the competition? Who was playing for Islanders at that time?
Getting into independence with people like Twyman Mabalega, we had the Berry Dakas, we had the Josiah Ngumalo, the Ngumalo brothers, James Ngumalo. We had just forgotten the other guy.
Ngumalo was still playing. He went on to coach.
Yes, he went on to coach Islanders. Yes, but like I'm saying, I think in the names that I've mentioned, the only Ndebele guy was Mabalega, I remember.
yeah. And in your team now, that's where the Stephen Kwashis. Did you play with Epson Sugar Mguyo as well?
Yes, I did play with Epson Sugar, and I'm proud to say I'm actually the one that drove to Mutari and collected him.
Oh, he was from Mutari?
He was from Mutari, yes.
Who scouted him from Mutari? How did
I think it was for my recommendation that we ended up taking Sugar, recommending him to Dr. Oshogun's. Dr. Oshogun's there was... I can't remember, but I remember if we played, there was a team, Mutari what? Mutari...
Yes, Ndugusi was garage, but Randuran Tisa, man. Yeah, well, we ends on
Amtali, yes, that's where we...
But a second part of the name.
Right. That's where I caught sight of Sugar, and I recommended him to the officials, and and I went to Garamtura, Ndikawayana. Clearance wise was one of my officials. And I was also very busy in recruiting other players, like for your own, I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear this, George Shire and Nelson Mapara. Would you believe George Shire came, he was with us off-season training for a good 3 months, I remember.
Zimbabwe Saints?
George Shire. Yes. I think he was the new player then in Dynamos. I think he had either moved from, is it from St. Paul's?
Yeah.
Yes, I think he had just moved from St. Paul's into Dynamos. That I discovered that George Shire is a good player. And there was yet another player in Nelson Mapara. Maybe you've forgotten about him. He's late, yes, but very good player. We had him national team again Rhodesia national team, Nelson Mapara, and also George Shire. And George Agawuya idogara kumpopoma. Ndikamtsvagira chimwe chichembere chokuti chimite muchengete. But that was meant to lower him. It was meant to really harness him and make him forget about Harare. And one day, someone at night phones, who should be a Dr. Oshogun's. Ndara, panapa tikona kuti George anenge ari kuloda mbasha dzake mumota. And what is happening? And I think Dr. Oshokunze just decides, he picks me up. He actually drove from somewhere in Nomtown along the Luveve Road. In Daigara, along the road, he picks me up, and we are driving to Popoma, where Joshua used to stay. And when we got there, Joshua was gone.
He's gone.
And who has taken him can't be anyone else but Morrison Sifela.
Yeah.
Morrison Sifela and and now it's like, when we get there, it's like, no, Papa manji. And Dr. Shogunze says, vaenda nekupi. And we decide we go the Gweru way. Ushokunze used to own a sports car, sports car, Jega or something like that. And along the Gweru road, we drove until Gweru. We couldn't find these guys. Just Gweru, I think Ushokunze just says, let's be that we were supposed to catch up with these guys. And we came back only to discover that they went along the Shawane Road.
Oh, yes.
They drove along the Shawane Road. Yes. I think they anticipated that chase and decided to use the Shawane Road. So their decision worked, their method worked. We couldn't find them. So we also had Georgia for a good 6 months.
So you were playing for Zimbabwe Saints at the same time you were actually doing also administrative work as well. You were part of the
Yes, I was the guy who used kunyenga my players. I was very active on that.
Yes.
And recruitment, and I think I found it easy as well to do so.
Yeah.
So that is how we built up our Zimbabwe Saints.
So in the 1980s, then you went on. You also played for the national team. You played for the Rhodesia national team. You actually played in the World Cup qualifiers. So when was that the time that you actually played? I think in the late 70s.
I think it's 79, and whatever the year is, but in that national team, we had players like George Shire, Nelson Mapara, William Sivanda, then Topsy Robertson, Rob Jordan, the goalkeeper, Adolf Mtuma. Adolf Mtuma was the shortest of them all. He played for Acadia, but a very good defender playing at the back. Itai Chiesa was also there, and I think let me mention Tigere. Tigere is the guy that cost us the third game. And this is what happened. When we engaged Australia in Lorenzo Max, first game we drew 0-0. And after drawing the first game, I think into extra time, it still remained 0-0. It was, the game was rescheduled. The return game, that was the second game. Second game, we drew 1-1. You can in the extra time, you can play 1-1. And the third game now, it is where Tigere was a defender, and a very good defender, I must say. I think by extra time again, in the third game, there was a corner kick conceded by us, Kabayator, I can't remember the Australian player then, took the corner kick. It went straight to where Tigere was. And he wanted to meet this one with a flashing head. But unfortunately, his head moved faster than the ball. Boraka's Muged. And we were out. That is how we were knocked out by Australia.
But you thought you had a very good team that could go and compete in the World Cup?
Very strong team, I must say. Very strong team. I bemoan, the absence of players similar to the players that we had then, now. I really think when I sit down and objectively compare the qualities of the players that we have today, I think we have gone the other way around. Instead of the graph rising, graph razikira.
It's actually quite sad. So when then did you decide that, no, before we go to that question, please, this game, everybody talks about it. You played, I think you played Cape United at Rufaro Stadium, and then you chased the referee around. What was going on?
I beat him up.
Everyone tells us about that game with
from the horse's mouth. Yes, it's sad. It's something. Regrettably, that is true. I found myself in a situation where I could not control my temper, and this is what happened. As we were playing, I think we were. No, we were not. By then, we conceded a penalty. And the referee then was Mr. Bell. But and Mr. Bell, people tell me with Mr. Bell understands Zaku caps and whatnot. I think those were all stories. But now I'm like, maybe attitude-wise, I'm questioning why you would be officiating in that game. But I'm not saying this is what transpired then, before the game or after, but it's something that I discovered, and I could have, I think, put in a lot of question marks. But if this person was working at Caps, why did they give him a game? But that is neither here nor there. So in this game, an incident. And this is the incident. The incident doesn't involve, before the incident. There is a penalty that a penalty against us. And penalty yakarowa kipa kabata, tukanziwa muva. Akarowa kipa karibata futi kanziwa muva. Rakazogoa, the third one rakagoa. So this is how the story builds up. It's building up. But in my role in Zimbabwe since then, I'm the captain. And this is the incident that put me into problems. Max Chuma and Tobias Moyo. Tobias Moyo played for, but I'm reliably told is Ben's brother. Benedict Moore. Yes. Okay. And these two went for a challenge, 50-50 challenge. And believe you me, Max was very aggressive. I do not want to protect him. He was very aggressive as a player, small as he was, but one of the most aggressive players that we had in Saints. And Tobias, in that clash, I also think I'm saying to me, for the referee to punish Max alone and leave Tobias, I somehow thought it was unfair. But the two went for each other. They missed each other, and the referee blew his whistle. And as he approaches the scene of the incident, he shows Max Chuma the yellow card. And he does not show Tobias. Me as the captain, I innocently went to the referee and said, but referee, I thought the fairest decision was a yellow card for both. Alas, the referee put his hand into his pocket. Achimurisa mu pocket. Referee akabata red card. And I'm like saying, my God, I'm getting a red card for asking. Believe you me, I don't know what happened. Referee Bakera. Referee ande ipasi. Referee amuka. He started running and I chased him. Imufaro imuya ndikadai dinaye. Kanodzoka uko dinaye. And this policeman, overzealous policeman, got hold of me. And until akandibata manje vari 2 umoko. Saka ndakadaura this other policeman abva ndikava manje. Andikavas kubheki chaiko. And then anditi ipo paya as they are doing that, pana sergeant vo varipo ipapo. Anditi taakubuda ini ndave musungwa kamanje. Ndakabatwa ndakadaro. Taakuti budei. Uya mkuru uya says to the other, to this other policeman akandibata, muregei. Achindiregedza anditi andikava. Ndikabva muchibhakera apa. Pasi purisa waya achema yowe zvikanzi nasanjeni uya iwe wamukava futi iwe saka zvavhara hanzi handei naye kusitoki sikupi kumbare ikoko tatifambei tasvika kumaground ari kuseri kaya bhora rasara richitambwa ine ndave musungwa and kuseri ikoko yavo sajeni vayava yanga iri sapota yese sajeni vayava vasvika kuyanzi amuregei. Ndakabva ndaregedzwa hatina kuzosvika kuzvitoki kuyana ndaregedzwa bhoro rakazopera ndagara hangu pagrandstand ndaakwacha bhoro racho. But such was the incident. Regrettably so. But believe you me, for the rest of my career, which I think was long enough, that was the first card ever in my life, first and last card I got. Even the yellow card, you could ndatsika umwe or ndaita say.
You never got it?
I never did.
Then when did you talk about your long career? When did you decide to retire?
Right. I think an unfortunate incident is the one that influences me to resign. 1982, I think end of the season, we go to Shavani and play. It was a friendly game. And on our way back, we are involved in an accident. And in that accident, and hence I'm using, where is my walking stick? And this is where it all started. As we were driving out of Rishavane, we came across a head of kegel. And all of a sudden, as we approached, is one that decided to go astray across the road. And we hit that locus. We hit that car. We capsized. The whole team, 18 of us. And believe you me, I was the only one injured in that lot. But I think I was the driver as well. Maybe I deserved to be injured. I don't know. But I ended up saying it. And I think Padaka Roa Mumbai, I was also clashing. Saka impact here, it pushed Gumboiri out of the socket. So, and after that incident, I then went to the Shavani hospital. got a treatment. Vanenge vakadhonza kumba, vakaridhonza rikatsokera. But that wasn't enough, and I think temporarily it worked. In other words, I managed to work on it for a few months, but still it wasn't good enough. But I ended up in Harare for an operation. And I think to try and get it right. I would say St. Anne's hospital and yeah, correct, that's the one. And ndo ndakazonowana medication, and I must say
that's why
this is why I am now. This is, yes. And soon after that, but also I think I was also what, 38
that time.
Yeah, that time.
So it was time.
Yes, it was time. It was time. Yes.
We're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about your coaching career, how it all happened, and where did you go, what did you do in your career, your successes, your disappointments, failures, whatever it is. We wanna know all about your coaching career when we come back. Guys, we're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking about the coaching career of the great legend, Warriors legend, Gibson Homela. Don't move away.
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Yes, guys, welcome back. We've got Dara Holmes, topic, Gibson Homela, legend of the game, Zimbabwean football. He is here telling us about his story. And I'm going before we talked about your retirement, you were talking about that issue. You chased referee all the way. What were the consequences? Because Mbora red card, refu. Hey, that's a big crime.
And
you didn't receive a punishment?
And worse off, it was a white man. And remember, it's before independence, 1979 is happening. And but I'm grateful that that referee was honest enough. When I was called for disciplinary hearing, the referee actually defended me. He actually said when he put his hand into his pocket and came out in his hands with a red card, the intention wasn't to give me the red card. Exactly, that's what he said. And that really worked for my, maybe in defense, and also in mitigation. Yes, wanted to say, but for the incident, I thought it was extreme for the referee to give me a red card. And but anyway, the government suspend was Sindai. Sindai Zachose. And this is 1979, 1980 is independence, and Ushogunze is back at Zimbabwe Saints, is responsible for his team. I think zvakanzikana mwana akarowa murungu ngadzo.
That is actually exciting. So you decided to go into coaching?
Yes, so
After
yes, I
Or
decided.
You started coaching when you were still playing. What?
I think it's after then. I must say I was now saying I think let me call it quits. It has been also taking into account the leg. Yes, in age. I really thought I had my run, and got into coaching, and.
How did it all start?
Sometimes I suffer from a memory lapse, but I would. What I know is when it all started, could have started with Zifa. When I was at this retiring point, I know I went to Germany on a coaching course, and. I did a diploma in coaching.
How did that come about?
This is why I say it sometimes. But I think this all happens when I'm technical director at Zifa. I was also technical director at Zifa.
Oh, so after retirement, you were now taken by Zifa?
Yes.
It was during which chairman? Nelson Chirwa?
Yes, it's the Nelson Chirwa. Nelson Chirwa, just after Madzima. Madzima was before, and it was Nelson Chirwa. Yes. I got into Zifa as technical director, and as technical director, then
so they sent you to Germany.
Yes, I was posted. I went to Germany for a course, and I did a diploma in coaching. Came back, worked for Zifa. Worked for Zifa for 5 years. I remember I resigned. I resigned because somehow I didn't like the support. In fact, I felt I was not getting enough support for my efforts, or you are not getting enough support for whatever you are suggesting we have to do. Madara anongozvita ignore. And I think that was the reason why I resigned. But also, I think ndosakandati right, let me go back. Inini Pandri national team coach. Remember I said to you, I was an employee with Edgar's.
Yes.
And when I was national team coach, I was never on full time.
Okay.
I was the type of coach that would be requested by the government, by the president. President Banana used to write to Edgar's
for the release.
For my release, yes. And he ends the national service or something like that. Saka enhanced tosangana paya pa maganditiza.
That was in the 90s, but it was still in the 80s.
It was still in the 80s, yeah. But anyway, I think the most important thing is, as I am national team coach, and Peze Pandrukuita coaching is, I was a full-time employee with Edgar's. Yes,
oh, okay.
Yes. And so...
And then when you were not getting the support, you also decided, you know what, I can go back to Edgar's.
Yeah, it was just as good as me going back to Edgar's and saying, no, I don't think I can continue with you guys. But right, but this is all that heap of rubbish is exactly what happened. And when I'm national team coach, who comes in the Fabish? Fabish came in when I was national team coach, but not full time.
At that time.
Yes, at that time.
So you carried on with the team.
Right.
Okay. Fabish came in what, 1991?
Whatever the case, when he comes in, and Papa Inana Bob Lines, what my coaches is something, say whatever. Fabish and Bob Lines actually drove from Harare to Bulawayo, and they met me in the Sun Hotel. They met me and they requested me to. It's like Yes, Fabish is here on government-to-government arrangement, but what we think we could do here is you continue as national team coach. Technical advisor sort of.
Yeah.
You continue. You will act as a technical advisor. But you actually continue much. They are saying this time you have to resign from Edgar's. You become a full-time national team coach. I remember I requested them to give me some time to think, and they did. When they came back, I said to them, considering the state in our football, I think it will be too risky for me to continue as national team coach. And I can't resign from Edgar's. I really think I'm well looked after at Edgar's, and looking at the state of our football. It's a situation where you know kuti kungotambisiwa one game maybe Nigeria mostly was onzi Homela out.
Yeah.
And what is kubasa? And which is exactly what is happening now. People are crying foul of coaches, but I don't really think the coaches are the culprits.
Something that we so you decided that you were resigning.
Yes.
That's when Fabish was.
That's when Fabish took over. Yes.
Now Fabish should just take over as the head coach. Interesting. So did you go back to Zimbabwe saying, because you also coached Zimbabwe?
Yes, I coached. Yes, 88. I remember very well. 88, 87, 88. I'm at Zimbabwe Saints.
Yeah, then that's when they wanted you to coach the national team now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you were the coach as Super Saiyan in the league.
Yes, I was the coach in the league. I was the coach when we went for 24 games unbeaten. Tendina huyu mfana huyu mkura uyanza no mfana Barreto.
Roy Barreto.
Yes, I was actually the head coach.
Roy Barreto, the assistant.
The assistant.
That team. Take us through that team. Super Saints.
Yes. Super Saints, but unfortunately, that team bred. It was bred all in Bulawayo. I must say most of those players were local players, and I would say guys promoted from the junior league.
Structure, the junior structures.
The juniors, they were very strong then. They were very tight. They were very strong then, and this is where we had most of our players. I recruiting players during that time. I think it was local. We all we did was train. We had these junior age groups, and we would just pick from
cherry pick the good ones.
Correct.
From the junior team.
Yes, which is no longer the issue now. I don't know why clubs have neglected that or forgotten that.
Which was actually the best.
It was the best as far as I'm concerned.
Was players were localized.
Yes, they were.
You have your local junior teams. Then you pick your best players from the local teams. It was very rare. 5 players.
Correct.
So that was actually brilliant. So you resigned, then you went back. You went back to Zimbabwe.
To Zimbabwe Saints, yes.
Then you, after Fabish, you came back. So you agreed to resign when you came back. What was the agreement now?
To the national team. I must say it was on temporary basis, just like what Norman is doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, because you came back, I think it was 1995 when Fabish left.
Correct.
You came back. You came back.
It was just to sustain the situation temporarily, whilst they look for a coach.
For a coach. Is that when they then brought in Rudy Gutendorf to coach with? I remember this other time.
He's another culprit.
He You almost murdered him. Type of training.
Right.
Then you had an altercation. What happened there? You had an altercation with Rudy Golendo. Then you were like, all right, I'm there.
When I say sometimes when I look at these things, I always call myself, I say to myself, I think I was mad. But this is what happened. When I got to Zivarasekwa on that head, I think it was the day I got into Harare. And when I get into Harare, I'm faced up with this friendly game.
Yeah.
Friendly game, Gobi? And I must say I'm just going there, but okay, me being the national team coach, I'm begrudging the whole thing of when I get there I find Gutendorf.
You would arrange
yes. So everything I think was based on why did you call, or why did you ask us, or why did you make arrangements that the national team had a friendly game. And remember, Zubarajororo, it was when the national team players were coming in.
Yes.
It was the first day together.
First day of camp.
Yes, and really the disagreement between me and Gutendorf was the timing.
Yeah.
The timing is wrong.
He was like the technical director.
He was like the technical director. He was the head coach. And correct. I think I said to him, I can't accept what you're doing. I'm the head coach. You are the technical director. Just leave me do what I'm supposed to do. So there was this disagreement, and I think this is why you hear me saying I'm Daragandoka Brian. And but and but I think I was serious. I meant it. I was going to. Who is this we interviewed? I was going to eat him. I sometimes I think Nesa then Ivarungu at that time. Sometimes when they argued, I always thought of because and I think I had that in me, and as a result. I really took exception of any challenge that came from a white person. Then anyone, not kuti makochis makochis, of course, what I really mean. And if I said I didn't like this,
yeah.
And I also think even Kubasa, kwa Edgar's, I remember. With this guy, he was new in the company, but a white man, and I think I also promised him
something. Then this story you were talking about, very unfortunate. Then Ebola, you were the coach. Very unfortunate. We were in a very good situation at that particular time to qualify.
Yes, yes.
For AFCON, we were in a very good situation. Then came Ebola. Then came Ebola. I think we had beaten them here 2-1.
You had beaten them.
We had beaten them at the national stadium.
Yes.
And then the return leg came in. It was the Ebola time. And
this is why I resigned and never would ever want to be national team coach. Yes.
After that.
That incident, yes, it really. It put me off. It also, remember, it also messes up the CV of the coach. And unfortunately so. But you have a situation here where the players were scared for their lives, I think. And whether true or false, I don't know. In the end, I ended up thinking that the whole thing was politicized, and what for, I must say, even today, I really wish I could get an answer. Why the players decided to get out of the camp and fail and not travel to DRC. I must say, I have not forgiven you guys.
You know, to be honest, to partly answer the question. To be honest, you were part of the squad at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was any politics on our part, because we didn't know anything. Because the issue was the outbreak. It broke out. It was over the weekend when it just went viral all over the world, talking about the Ebola virus, and there was people were saying within 9 hours you know. So that was the information that was coming. But at that time we didn't know. We were confused. We didn't know what was going to happen, because Tangachifa came on the Monday.
Correct.
On the Monday. So we were not so sure. So at that particular moment, Munwese was afraid of that disease. You know, the news that was coming, we were afraid. So we started coming into camp. And you came early. I think maybe probably you I don't know if you flew or something in the morning.
Flew, yes.
Yes, because you came early. So by the time we came after lunch, there were already some few players that they had already joined camp. So I don't know why they decided. I think they had a meeting that they had, that they decided to go out of camp.
Right.
Myself and Stuart, we came late. We were late. So I think we went to Grabowski's house first. Then we went somewhere. So when we were coming, we came after lunch. So I think you had finished lunch and you were sitting in the foyer.
Yes,
so
correct.
some other players had already left, and you were very worried. When we looked, we actually greeted you. We greeted you. We were sitting there. Then we went to the reception to check in. At that time, we wanted to hear from the team what was going to happen.
Correct.
What say about this Ebola thing. So when we got to the reception to check in, John Piri was coming. Well, he was coming from the lift. He was carrying his bag. He was carrying his big bag. You know, he was coming. Then he called us and said, Louis, you start, you know. Hatitoenda we just made a U-turn. Then we went outside. We left you sitting there, and before you know it, we he just said, let's go, let's go, so we didn't even have the chance to actually talk to you. Yes. So for politics, it was nothing. My players I get a meeting and we are earlier. Let's go, guys, we're not going to play.
Right.
So that's what happened with the players. And then I was not in the meeting. Stuart was not. We just met John Piri. John Piri, I think, was the last of the players out. Then the next day it was a headline that the players had boycotted camp, and whoever wants to come to camp. It was a bad time.
Yes, it was a very bad time, and I always bemoan that, and I'm saying for my CV it was the worst, because you get up in the morning, you are supposed to be traveling the following day.
Yeah.
The players are gone, and what do?
Volunteers.
I look for volunteers, and
volunteer national team players.
Volunteer national team players. Imagine that, and you are like saying, "Is this what it should be?" And but anyway, you know, I say.
Let me cut you. Did Zifa try to apply for the game to be cancelled, or it was like the game is on?
It was the game is on. Why the game was supposed to be on? At that time, it was too late for Zifa to cancel, and us going to DRC, I must say here, it was to save the suspension that would follow.
Oh yeah.
If we had
because
not,
CAF insisted that the game is on.
The CAF had insisted that the game is on. So if we had not fulfilled that game, we were going to be suspended.
And that's the game that actually also costed us.
It did. Yes, it did.
At the end of the day, because I think we later on played Malawi, we drew 1-1.
Yeah, correct.
If we had won or taken a point from that game in DRC,
we would have qualified. Correct.
For the AFCON, it was unfortunate. So at that time, what was the feeling when you took this team They were volunteer players. You went there. What were your expectations when you got to DRC? Or what was the mood of the players as well?
Nothing much, I must say. And I'm like saying, I'm trying to, what is the right word? I'm trying to encourage these players. I'm also trying to motivate them is the right thing. And I'm saying, I remember what I said to them. I might have not mentioned your name. I might have said, you guys that have come in today, this is an opportunity for you guys to showcase of yourselves in the absence of the regulars, that have decided to stay away. I really, that thing affected me mentally, I must say. And what even hated me, what hate me most was the ways if I handled the thing. You remember when we came back, we lost. After that game, I think we lost 3-1 or whatever.
No, we lost 5-0.
5-0, whatever, yeah. 5-1 maybe.
Mm.
And but when we came back, I don't know whether this is true or not, but what hurt me most was the fact that I was told that the players that didn't go were also paid for not going.
No, we were not paid.
You're not paid?
No, we were not paid. We were not paid. Actually, we suffered because at the end of the year, all the players who didn't go were disqualified from the Soccer Star of the Year award.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, we were all disqualified. We didn't participate. And for me, it was actually painful as well because I had a very good year.
Correct. Yes.
The year of the under-23 All Africa Games, I was the player of the tournament there. I was also playing for Blackpool. We had just finished second to Dynamos. I was the third top goal scorer. So for me, it was actually a very good year.
You could have made it. Yes.
So we were all suspended. So maybe that can actually also give you a sense of...
yes, it will console me.
We were suspended.
The unfairness of the whole thing, again, you have got the pressmen, and they are saying, I took the team and we were beaten 5, something like that, and they didn't consider the situation. They discredited me for losing by that much. And in my memory, I know I had a big grudge with Sharuko. He is the one that blew everything up, and it came out as something that was really unfortunate and unbecoming. But
then you decided you wanted.
I decided. Yes, I really decided. I had a peace of mind. I thought I didn't deserve it, and even now I'm convinced I didn't deserve it.
No, you didn't. No, definitely, most definitely, you didn't deserve it. But honestly, I think the players were really worried. I think it was only Mercedes Banda from your initial squad.
Yes.
He's the only one who decided to actually go with you. You didn't deserve it. I take it. So then, when you retired, you went back to Saints, got into administration.
Yes. Now I am running a Legends Academy. We call ourselves Legends Sports Development Academy. And when I say ourselves, it is me, Lawrence Piri, Douglas Molloy. We are the founders. And with us, we have also recruited Colson Maveza and Godfrey Paradza as departmental managers. The Legends Sports Development Academy started in 2018. Unfortunately, it got affected by this COVID thing. 2019, it really killed us. We only started operating last week.
Oh yeah.
But the response has also been very good for a start. There is a lot of guys that have come in, junior guys. But within the concept of the Legends Sports Development Academy, We are a consultancy. We are also selling sports equipment. We are also a school of excellence.
Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant. That is brilliant. This is what we want, development. Development, that's what we want. You were talking about it and you were bemoaning the situation that is in the country today, and you still say sometimes these results that come when the national team plays, sometimes it's not because of the coach.
It is as at now, when I watched us play yesterday, and I sometimes wonder when people marvel at the results that we get, and as far as I'm concerned, those are the results that we deserve with the material, that we have. The material, I repeat.
We need to work on the material.
We really have to work on the material. Leave the coaches alone. As at now, you can look for whatever coach kana best, but the result will still remain.
Because of the material.
Because of the material.
That's what the Legends Academy is doing.
Correct.
Trying to correct this.
Yes.
Bring out the material first,
yes,
then give the coach. Toby, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
It has been a very, very, very big pleasure for us to actually have your history, the rich history, what you went through, your success as a player, success as a coach, and what you're doing now for the Legends Academy. That one is close to my heart. I love development. I want to see football developing from the junior ranks. We always talk about former footballers here. They talk about the same thing, that let's go back to what we used to do, Kudara. Development. My clubs, top flight clubs should have development. You don't have to be going around as a Blower club to be buying players in Mutare, buying players in Chipinge. Localize it, groom your players in your hood. There is talent there. I think that's where we need to go back. I agree with you. So Legends must spread around the country, and everybody can actually take a cue from you, the legends that are doing that. Thank you very much, but we still have a lot to talk about football. We are out of here. We have run out of time. We're Gibson Homela. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Alois Bunjira, powered by Nyalazo Group. We are back next week when we bring you another legend of the game. Cheers.
In 2001, Zimbabwe's Sawira Mukuru was born. Humble beginnings though they were, and armed with nothing but a vision, Philip Mataranyika, Nyaradzo Group CEO, saw a need in Zimbabwe society. A need that needed a strong hand to fulfill it. A vision to provide the best possible service to its clientele in order to meet the demand for efficient, client-based funeral services in Zimbabwe. Investing in infrastructure, machinery, vehicles, staff training. Armed with the CEO's vision and mission to be the preferred provider of insurance risk and event management solutions. Through listening to and understanding the needs of our stakeholders with due care for the environment, we grew and grew. We crossed the Limpopo into South Africa. Over the Mediterranean and British Tunnel. And we continued to grow. Through the good times and the bad. Whether in the city or in the village. Or diaspora. All we had and all we have is each other. 20 years of service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
20 years of gratefulness.
Thank you.
20 years of thanksgiving.
Thank you.
20 years of memories.
Thank you.
20 years of hope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope for an even greater future.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Nyaradzo Group of Companies would like to thank all our clients for working side by side with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
From all of us here at Nyaradzo, the past 20 years wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you.
Today is a special day for the Nyaradzo Group as we celebrate 20 years since our founding with humility and gratitude. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all stakeholders, our board of directors, management and staff, as well as our customers who have supported us through this journey. It's been an exciting journey, and I'd like to thank you all for all the support and the hard work.